Okay, let's talk about something that causes a lot of late-night stress for so many of us. MLA in-text citations. I know. They can feel like this impossible maze of rules, but I promise, by the end of this, you're going to see it's actually a really simple, logical system.
Yeah, does this look familiar? That feeling when you've just finished a fantastic paper, you're so proud of it, and then it hits you. Now you have to deal with all the parentheses and page numbers and weird formatting. You are not alone. It's a totally universal feeling. We've all felt this way, right? It can honestly feel like the whole citation thing is just designed to trip you up. But what if I told you it's not about memorizing a million different rules? What if it's just about understanding one simple idea? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today.
So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with why we even do this. Then we'll crack the code of the MLA system itself. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of in-text citations. And we'll wrap up with the big one, how to cite all the modern stuff you find online.
All right, so first things first. Why bother? What's the point of all this? Well, at its heart, citation is just about two things: giving credit where it's due and letting your readers see the trail of your research. It's how you show your work and join the bigger conversation.
I like to think of it kind of like a citation sandwich. You've got the in-text citation, that's the little reference inside your paragraph, like the top piece of bread. And then you have the full works cited entry at the end. That's the bottom piece of bread holding all the details. You absolutely need both to make it work.
Okay, now let's pull back the curtain on the system itself. The great thing about the newest MLA is that it's not just a random list of rules for every single type of source out there. It's actually a flexible system that's built on one core template.
And this is the secret blueprint. Seriously, pretty much every full citation you'll ever create for your works cited page is built from these 9 core elements. You just fill in the pieces you have in this order. This is the foundation for everything else.
So what is the in-text citation? Our main focus today. Actually doing. It has one job, and one job only: to be a signpost. It's just a little pointer in your sentence that says, "Hey reader, the full info for this quote or idea, it's over on the works cited page." That's it. Nothing more. And here's what that relationship looks like in action. That tiny little thing, Wordsworth 263, it doesn't tell you the book title or the publisher. It doesn't need to. It just gives you the bare minimum you need to find the full entry on the works cited page, which is almost always the author's last name.
Okay, so how do we actually build these things? Let's start with the classic, the one you'll use most often for books and articles, the author page style.
It is genuinely as simple as it looks. You just take the author's last name, then the page number where you found the info, and you stick them in parentheses at the end of your sentence. Simple as that.
Now, what if you've got a source with a bunch of authors? No problem. If there are two, you just list both of their last names. If there are 3 or more, MLA makes your life even easier. You just list the first author's name and then add et al., which is just a fancy Latin shortcut for "and everybody else."
And here it is, the big one. The question that brings us into the 21st century. What on earth do you do when you're citing a website, or a YouTube video, or some online report that has no author you can see and definitely no page numbers? This is where people get tangled up, but the core logic stays exactly the same.
So let's apply that logic to the sources we're all using every single day. The goal is always the same. Point your reader to the right spot in the works cited list.
This right here, this is the golden rule. If you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this: your in-text citation has to match the very first word of its entry on the works cited page. So you just look at your works cited page. Does the entry start with an author's name? Use that. Does it start with the title of an article? Use a short version of that. Whatever comes first, that's your key.
And you can see how this plays out in real life. If a person wrote it, bam, just their name. If there's no author, the works cited entry will start with the title. So you just use a shortened piece of that title in quotes. And if an organization is the author, like the World Health Organization, you just use their name. See, the logic always works.
Okay, so what about things that don't have pages at all? I'm talking about movies, podcasts, YouTube videos. You still need to point your reader to the exact spot you got your information from, right? Well, the solution is actually pretty clever. You just replace the page number with a timestamp. Hours, minutes, and seconds. So for a TV show, it might be the episode title and the time range. For a YouTube video, it could be the creator's name and the time. It's the exact same idea as a page number, just for a different kind of media.
And just to be super clear, for a lot of online articles and websites, once you put the author's name in the parentheses, you are done. That's it. You don't need anything else. You should not add paragraph numbers or anything like that unless your professor specifically tells you to. Just the author's name is usually enough to do the job.
So, after all that, let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big picture here. We've gone through the basics, some tricky exceptions, but it really does all boil down to one simple, powerful idea. On the left, you have what citations often feel like, this chaotic, impossible-to-memorize list of rules. But the reality is what you see on the right. It's one clear, logical relationship. The little in-text citation is just a pointer, and it points the reader to the big, detailed entry on the works cited page. That is the whole system in a nutshell.
I want to leave you with this thought, because I think it changes everything. Stop thinking of citation as some final, annoying test you have to pass. Think of it as telling the story of your research journey. Each little citation is a breadcrumb showing your reader where you went and who you talked to along the way.
It really is a story of discovery. And now, by understanding this simple, logical system, you know exactly how to tell that story with clarity and with confidence. You've got this.